Some of us, we living in a rat race right now. We going to work, come home, get something to eat, take a shower, or may not take a shower, get up in the morning and repeat the same process over and over and over again. And we find ourselves not even enjoying life because we're not striving for nothing. The minister says true fun, real fun is when we have an idea and we work in that idea to bring it into fruition. But many of us don't even have any new ideas. We done gave up. Talking about the youth for doing. You still the youth. How's the minister 80-something years young, still moving, still walking, still going, and we giving up at 50? We talking about a man who's about to be in his 90s still fighting Satan. We talking about a man who has talked about, man, what has happened to his insides that many of us know about. And he said, I never came to the rostrum on drugs. I just spoke to you all in pain. How can we sit here and watch him do this in our faces and we give up at 40 years old, at 50 years old? We saw him at 60 years old on them video pumping them weights like this here. Come on, man. So if we really love him, let's help him out.
Looking forward to getting stronger.
That's what I'm talking about.
Each passing day by the grace of God.
When you say considering, what do you mean?
Well, before the operation, I was in very bad shape. As you may have heard, I had seed implantation for prostate cancer. We started with 40 seeds and it seemed to do the job, and then the cancer came back. So they put 180 more, which is 220 radiated seeds, and I went on a world tour right afterwards, but over time the seeds burned into the rectum, burned into the urethra, and there was a communication, a fistula, a hole that communicated the colon with the urethra. And so we had an operation in 2000 that was to patch the fistula. And unfortunately, in 4 months we tested and it held for a while and then it broke. And then urine was coming from the anal channel. And so since that time, it's been 7 years now, I've had a problem with urine coming from the wrong place. And finally, I wanted a colonoscopy to make sure that my colon was okay. And they found an ulcer in the area of the rectum. And as long as urine was passing it, it would never heal, which meant that I would have to have another operation. And then it got so deep that what was to come from the colon was coming from the penis, and what was to come from the penis was coming through the anal channel. And so I was in constant pain. And I was dying. And it got so bad, some of my naturopath physicians told me they didn't want me to take the operation because it was horrific, because it was a complete pelvic exoneration where everything in the pelvis would be taken out. And my medical doctor said if I didn't take the operation, I would surely die. So I was, like the Bible says, halting between two opinions. So I went to pray. And I said to God, I said, Father, I am your servant. And whatever, I want you to force me in the direction that you want me to go, that's in harmony with your will. And within 10 hours, I went to the bathroom to push out some of this foreign matter from the penis, and a stitch in the side came, and blood began rushing from the anus. And I lost about 4 units of blood. It rushed. No, not in the bathroom. I lost maybe a unit or half a unit in the bathroom, but on the way to the hospital. And then in the hospital, I was vomiting, but nothing was coming up, and pushing out blood at the same time. So they had to put the bed in Trendelenburg, which is the head down and the foot up, so that the remaining blood could be in the cavities and in the brain and in the heart, so I could remain alive. So they put me in the ICU, and then I went into what they call afibrillation, where the heartbeat began to beat at 140 to 180 beats per minute. And then my daughter became, as a nurse, became very concerned, and they called the family around me. And that didn't stop for 13 hours. And then when they stabilized me at last, then they sent me to Northwestern University Hospital from St. Anthony's Hospital in Michigan City. And that's where I remained for 5 weeks. And then I came out 4 weeks after the operation, and then had the speech 6 weeks after the operation.